you come to realize that there are no accidents in this universe. Everything that takes place have the pieces moved around by something bigger than all of us. And so it was called the I Am Discourses. And I quote from the I Am Discourses. The first expression of every individual everywhere in the universe, either in spoken word, silent thought, or feeling, is I am. Recognizing its own conquering divinity.
One of the things that means to be human is to be in a physical body. It involves all the physical things that happen to us. Many of the programs that are put out emphasize how to make that physical body more attractive. They focus on how to keep it young, how to keep it rich, how to keep it insured, and how to make a lot of money for it. That's one big focus. All right, and certainly there's nothing wrong with any of that. But then there's another major part of being human, the inner universe. Thank God, the universe within you. In that inner universe, the outcomes, goals, and processes are completely the opposite. They're very, very different. You know, you can't smell inner awareness, and you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't get a hold of it, you can't dissect it, you can't put it into a measuring device. It is yours to have as a divine package, or it's yours to have as a corrupt and awful package. It just depends on how you use that inner world. The irony is that as that inner world becomes filled with harmony, love, caring, and acceptance for yourself first and then for others, as you extend that outwardly, and as that begins to happen for you, the physical world, the other part of you, where you're trapped in this physicalness, also begins to get all the things that you were so determined to get for yourself. It all seems to work together. You can learn to make your inner world work for you so that you'll be a success in any area, whether it has to do with business, family, love relationships, or personal achievements of any sort. In the universe within you, you'll discover the secret source of strength available to all of us if we just know how to tap into it. Dr. Wayne Dyer recorded live segments of this program several years ago. Since then, he's developed and expanded on the techniques he discussed originally. So you'll get the secrets of the universe as outlined by the character IUS in Wayne's book, Gifts from IUS. You'll also get many, many more life-changing ideas to help you be and achieve whatever you desire. If you look to the universe within, you'll discover the power you have to deal with everyone and every situation peacefully and powerfully. You'll learn how to follow your inner signals so you'll never again be troubled by external events or petty people. You'll hear how to follow the way to true freedom and success. A success that is not measured by the amount of money you make or your material possessions. And this success is based on the amount of satisfaction and joy you get from living life every day. Happiness is available for you anytime you want it. Whether you're cleaning out your closet, sitting on the can, changing your baby's diaper, working on a project that is exciting for you, or going on a camping trip, happiness is something that's available to you. So normal people don't speak the kind of language I'm talking about. It's a transcendent kind of language, and when you're around these kinds of people, they inspire you, even if they're not trying to convince you of anything. So they have an aura about them that makes you know you're around a special human being. It's like their presence motivates you because they transcend the typical. They transcend the normal and go into areas that no one has ever dreamed of before. They don't even think about the consequences of whether it's going to work or not. That isn't even an issue for them. A man of knowledge, Carlos Castaneda, wrote about this in A Separate Reality. He said, a man of knowledge lives by acting, not by thinking about acting, and not by wishing that he had done something. And he said, a man of knowledge understands that what we're doing in life really doesn't matter, but he acts as if it does. So when his acts are over, he retreats in peace. Whether they worked or didn't, whether it was good or bad, right or wrong, is no part of his concern. It's like understanding that if you're going to get things done in life, you've got to be able to transcend all of the reasons why it can't be done and think like poets, mystics, and seers. They feel a sense of mission about their life. They feel on target with what they're doing. They're not always thinking, what is my mission? Where am I going to go? What's it going to be like? They don't do that. Okay, again, the question is, what are the specifics? I am determined to lay these on you because I've been thinking about them a lot in my life. Helping people to manage their own emotions, teaching people not to be victims, and getting to the point where there are no limits to your thinking, possibility thinking, whatever you want to call it. We've looked at people in the world who seem to be operating at this level over and over again. What are they like? What are the qualities of these human beings? You can look at yourself as I go through some of these qualities. At the top, I think probably the thing that stands out, and I'm not just talking about philosophers, professional people, or people who have achieved a great deal of success, has very little to do with that. And it has to do with people who seem to go through their lives neurosis-free. They see life as a miracle, something to enjoy rather than something to carp about and find fault with. No matter what the problems that come along in their lives, these people somehow seem to be problem solvers. They seem to be able to get out of the way of all the stuff that bogs down so many of us. They just almost bypass it. They let it go past them. It's why meditation is such an important part of the process of coming to our highest self and coming to know who we are. It's the place where there are no beginnings. Herman Melville once said that God's one and only voice is silence. It's the one place where there's nothing finite. Blaise Pascal, the famous French philosopher and scientist, once said that all of man's troubles stem from his inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Most of us just aren't comfortable with this because we have come to believe and trust in the evidence for who we are based on what we can touch, see, feel, and smell. Yet what our five senses tell us is not always accurate. William Blake pointed that out beautifully in one of his poems back in 1777. He said, to see the world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wildflower, to hold eternity in the palm of your hand and infinity in an hour. We are all led to believe a lie when we see with not through the eye, which was born in a night to perish in a night while the soul slept in beams of light. We are all infinite beings in a temporary human experience. I've said it over and over again. Whenever people ask me what my very favorite quote or observation is, it comes from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, the French priest who was excommunicated from the Catholic Church for his outrageous ideas. He said that we are not here as human beings having a spiritual experience. It's the other way around. We are all infinite spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. Coming to a place where we live our lives from that infinite place and beginning to know our soul is one of the reasons why I accepted an invitation to come here. And I do yoga myself 5 to 6 times a week. I know the significance of it for me and my own body, health, life, and emotional state. I know that when I meditate, I'm better. I know that when I do yoga, I'm healed. So I came. Getting to know the soul and spirit and not identifying ourselves solely based on our physical senses is the essence of my newest book, which is also a PBS special called Wishes Fulfilled. The whole message behind it is to come up with a specific way to contact this infinite part of ourselves. And yet, now remember, if it's infinite, it doesn't stop or start anywhere. By definition, infinite means it has to be expanding. The minute it stops expanding, it becomes finite. We're no longer talking about the soul. We're talking about what Blake said, we see with not through our eyes. So here's what I jotted down. The ideal of the soul, the thing it asks for, is neither knowledge nor light nor happiness. The ideal of the soul is space, immensity. The one thing it needs more than anything else is to be free to expand and to reach out and embrace the infinite. And the ideal of the soul is infinity because that's what the soul is. It is miserable when it is circumscribed or restricted in any way. Now, I have 8 children, 6 beautiful daughters, and 2 sons. One of the things I know is that before I had children, I had 8 theories about how to raise them. Now I have 8 children and no theories. But one of the things I know about children is that no one likes being told what to do. This isn't just about children, it's about all of us. And one of my favorite songs is from when I was in high school. Who gave me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above? Don't fence me in. Boy, you know it. Don't fence me in. Don't restrict me. Don't put boundaries on me. Don't tell me what I can do and what I can't do. Don't tell me how to be, what to wear, what to think, or even how to do yoga. Don't tell me. I don't want to be told it. This is the soul speaking. Always the soul is constantly desiring to expand and grow. And anything or anyone that comes into your life attempting to hinder that will find you fighting it and reaching back. You will particularly find this in your yoga practice. The word yoga means union. Union with what? Your highest self, and union with God. This is what the highest self is. It's the part of you, the place within you that is not worshiping God. That's what religion has taught us, that God is outside of us. It's the part and the place within you that knows that at your highest level you are God. Each and every one of us is. When you are connected to the highest place within yourself, when you are connected to the God that you are, you have all the powers of the creative source of the universe. You become the Tao. The Tao becomes you. So yoga or union is really a way of becoming a manifester. In order to become a manifester, someone who is able to attract and place into their lives what they focus their attention on, there are certain principles to understand. So we saw a lot about something called The Secret not too long ago in newspapers, magazines, and on the news. I was asked to be a part of that, but stayed away from it for different reasons. For me, manifesting is not about attracting what you want. Manifesting is an awareness and understanding that you attract what you are. I have been studying in depth something called the I Am Disclosures. I'll share just a little bit about it here. One of my very favorite quotes from Unveiled Mysteries says, "The attitude of one person who wishes to work in conscious cooperation with the ascended host, with God, should not be, 'I wish I could go to them for instruction and pray to God,' or the source from which we all originated." S. Eliot said, "We shall not cease from exploration, but at the end of all our exploring will be to return to the place from which we originated and to know it for the first time." The poet was speaking about dying, leaving the body. I think we can come to know that place from which we originated and live from it. Jesus spoke in the book of John, saying that even the least among you can do all that I have done, and even greater things. It was Jesus who, when he was about to be stoned for blasphemy, said, Why would you stone me?" They responded, "You blaspheme. And you claim to be God, and you are a man." He said, "Is it not written in your laws that I have said you are gods, all of you?" The infinite place within you that needs to expand and wants to grow is what we call your life. When my mother died, she was down to about 85 pounds. But if they had weighed her the second before she died and then weighed her the second after, her body would have weighed exactly the same. Yet she was no longer alive. Her life, what we call her life, is weightless. It's formless. It has no beginning or end. You can't weigh it. How can you weigh that which has no form? So your life, the thing that we call your life, is God. That's what you are. That's what every single one of us is. Saint Germain said, "The attitude of one who wishes to work in conscious cooperation with the ascended host should not be, 'I wish I could go to them for instruction,' but rather, 'I will so purify, discipline, and perfect myself and become such an expression of divine love, wisdom, and power that I can assist in their work. Then I will automatically be drawn to them.' If you want to attract into your life what you feel is missing, then you must become like these great ascended masters." I honestly feel that I spent the first 10 years of my life in a series of foster homes and orphanages. My father walked out on his family and left my mother with 3 boys under the age of 4 when she was 23 years old. I had a great blessing in those earliest years of my life to go within and discover something that I came here to teach, which is self-reliance. To learn how to rely upon ourselves. I honestly feel that I'm right now writing a book. It was very hard for me to leave Maui and get on that plane, fly to Sacramento, and take a car up here. Not because I don't think it's beautiful here, but because I'm where I belong anyway. So I stopped fighting all of that stuff. Anyway, it was because I'm in the midst of writing. I'm writing a book called I Can See Clearly Now. It's sort of like a memoir, except that it's a look at all of the events that seemed isolated but actually showed up in my life, leading me to the next step, which has arrived here in 2012 at the age of 72. As I write this, and I've written almost 50,000 words in the last 6 weeks, it's almost like an obsession. It isn't me writing, it is me as writing. It is something that Lao Tzu said, none of you are doing anything, you're all just being done. Have you ever had a sense of that when you look in the mirror and see your body and say, what the hell is going on here? You might think, what's this chicken neck stuff? Where did that come from? What am I doing with hair growing out of my ears that doesn't belong? You could use it up here, You have a sense that in this physical world, there's nothing for you to do but keep this thing that houses your soul in as healthy a space as you can. Basically, it's doing what it's doing, and you, inside of there, the infinite you, is just an observer to the whole process.